Mowry.
Here.
O'Brien.
Present.
We have 7 members present. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I'd like to turn to chair announcements. There was an executive session.
Sean, for some reason, I'm not getting the, did I have it plugged in properly? Maybe that's, somebody say something in the microphone.
Testing.
Testing.
Okay.
Testing.
Okay, at this time, we'll turn to chair announcements. Executive session of council was conducted tonight before we came out, July 9, 2018, for personnel items. At this time, we turn to the reports, the official and the library director's report.
Good evening. My name is Christine. I'm the director of Your Public Library, where we provide opportunities to explore, learn, create, and connect. It's not too late to join summer reading clubs for all ages. The Adult Summer Reading Club runs through July 30th. The Youth Summer Reading Club will end on August 18th with a party, prizes, and entertainment. A few activities, events coming up I want you to know about. Bethel Park Community Star Party will be held on Wednesday, July 18th at 8:30 in the evening. This is hosted by the Amateur Astronomy Association of Pittsburgh, and it will begin with an astronomy presentation at 8:30, and then we'll go outside to view the night sky. If you have binoculars, feel free to bring them, but telescopes will be set up for viewing. And this is for all ages. And then Monday, movie matinees for kids is every Monday during the month of July at 2 p.m., where a different musical will be shown with popcorn and drinks provided. This is for grades K through 4. And then Mondays in July, we have Monday night movies for teens at 6:30 p.m. For free movies and snacks. You can bring a friend and enjoy a musical movie. I know they've seen Grease, and I know the last one of the month will be Pitch Perfect. This is for grades 7 and up. And just a reminder that the library is closed on Sundays during the summer. That is all.
Thank you very much. Any comments? Hearing none, can we turn to the police chief's report? Chief O'Connor.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, Council. Hi, everybody. Chief here. We hope everyone is continuing to have a safe summer, and we wish that everyone who suffered damage from the storm and the flooding is on the way to recovery. Coming up in August, we will not have a Crime Watch meeting in August, so follow us on our Crime Watch email and continue to follow us on Facebook for any updates. We also will be putting out our swift reach messages when necessary on the storm recovery process, and you'll hear the mayor will be you'll hear his voice because he's smooth. I'm not, so he'll be doing them and giving you guys pertinent information. So continue to listen for the swift reach messages and follow us on Facebook.
Any questions? No. Thank you very much,
Good,
Chief. Can we turn to the fire chief's report?
Thank you, Chief. Good evening. My name is Brent Kimberland. I'm the Assistant Chief for the Bethel Park Volunteer Fire Company. For the fire department report this month, our calls actually doubled. We had 76 total emergency incidents for the month. Not related to the flood incident were 3 structure fires, 1 vehicle fire, 1 grill fire, 1 lawnmower fire, 1 accident with entrapment, transformer sparking 2, gas leaks 4, electrical problems 2, and fire alarms 22. That was a total of 37. Related to the flooding calls, we had a total of 39 calls. 1 vehicle stuck in high water, 5 of those, road closures 5, flooded homes 18, foundation collapses 2, fire alarms 4, gas odors in a home 3, structure fires 1, and 1 standby for the entire fire department. During this time, we rescued over 30 people from high water, either from buildings or vehicles. The fire company also assisted with cleanup efforts as much as we could within the community, going through the process of handling the emergency calls and recovery as well. The fire company also was open for 2 days at our Brightwood station, handing out over 250 of the flood relief kits and assisting in emergency management. We'd also like to thank the community, both residents and businesses, who brought food and things for the firefighters to the fire station. It was wonderful for us because we just didn't have an opportunity to go out or get things. So it was great support from the community for the fire company. Additionally, the second mailing for our donation letter is going out, so please support us in that way if you can as well. Any questions?
Any questions from council?
Thank you very much. Can we now turn to the mayor's report? Mayor Allen.
Brent, while you're still here, I'm going to go a little out of order that I had it here, but I personally want to thank the fire department, all the volunteers. I was down there on the 20th, that Wednesday evening, and the firefighters that were there needed help at their own homes, but they didn't leave the station, you know, other than going to other people that needed help. So I definitely want to thank you for a great job the fire department did. We have a couple items this evening. I want to remind everyone that the farmers market is still Tuesdays from 3 to 7 at South Park, and that goes till the end of September. The 90+ luncheon that I have every year is October 5th. It's at the community center. Last year we had probably between 80 and 100 people, so it's a way that we recognize our seniors. So if you know of anyone that's 90+, you can contact Janet Davin at 412-831-6800, extension 211. This Saturday, we're having a program here in council chambers. It's called Time of Hope. It's from 2 to 5, and the purpose is for people of faith to surround themselves that were affected by the flood. So we're hoping to get a good turnout for that. At this time, I would like to introduce a person, Becky Lazier, and she's in charge of the Blackhawk Family Relief Fund. I'm sure you've heard of it over the last couple of weeks, probably not a month ago, and she's just going to tell you a little bit about what they're doing.
Good evening. Like Jack said, I'm the president of the Blackhawk Family Relief Fund. We are a fund that was just about a year old when the flooding occurred, and we are a fund that started really for a specific reason at that time. I'm the girls lacrosse coach at the high school, and we had 2 girls lacrosse families in the community who needed some assistance with some medical emergencies, and that was really the catalyst for the beginning of this organization. We did a spaghetti dinner benefit for them last year. We raised some money, we disseminated out all of that money to those families, and kind of thought that that might have been a one-off possibly for us as a group. And then of course the flooding occurred. So I was contacted by members of your municipal leadership and members of the Bethel Park Community Foundation to inquire about our fund and our willingness to get involved in the fundraising activities. So that happened within 24 hours of the flooding. Within 48 hours, we were putting volunteer crews together, sending them out to homes of those affected. We were getting meals together for people who were busy cleaning up, and probably the last thing they were thinking about was what they were going to eat tonight. We were feeding the volunteers. We were arranging childcare opportunities for families that had small children that they needed kind of to not be underfoot any longer so that they could do some cleanup. We were coordinating with other volunteer and service organizations in the community, as well as the church organizations, to figure out what existed in terms of additional support for people. And as you've probably seen everywhere, we've also been fundraising. Our fund is up to $15,000, I'm happy to report, and that's about 3 times as much as we had even 10 days ago. So it continues to grow. We have several events coming up. On July 22nd, there will be a rummage sale at Ruthford Baseball Field, and that will be an opportunity for community members who would like to donate goods that they don't need, gently used items that can be sold, and the proceeds will go to the fund. We also have a community festival planned for August 12th that will take place at Independence Middle School. There will be food vendors, music, family activities, And that's an opportunity for us to come out and raise some money, but also spend some time together in community fellowship and kind of have something really positive to focus on for that day, since we all have been through so much. There were so many members of the council and your local leadership who really did roll up their sleeves, and I saw every single day out there with us. So we're thankful for their support, and I look forward to continuing to get to serve my community. Although this was an unfortunate incident, the silver lining, I think, for most of us that did the volunteering and the coordination is that we got to meet a lot of really amazing people. I got to really kind of hammer home why I've been telling my peers in the sports community that Bethel Park is the best community to coach in. I've known that for 10 years. And I think that was shown in our people, in our resiliency, and our willingness to help our neighbor. And as they mentioned with the fire department, we had a lot of people helping us who had their own issues at home in terms of flood damage. And I just want to thank, very quickly, Lauren Bradley, Sydney Litzenberger, and Courtney Smith. Although I'm probably the face of the fund, those other three women, the volunteer coordination, the meals. Courtney is still driving around and picking up washers and dryers that people are donating and delivering them to people who need them. So that has not stopped. Our efforts continue. There's many members of our board as a fund that are located in your community, in your neighborhood. So I ask that you continue to keep your eyes peeled for our activities, continue to spread the word when you know something's going on that's benefiting the fund, because we look forward to continuing to be a leader in our community and to help connect people and, you know, kind of meet our neighbors' needs wherever they are. So thank you.
Yeah, she's been unbelievable. Everywhere that I show up, she's already beat me there. She was actually at my neighbor's the other day, and I was on my way home. I said, "What is Becky doing here?" So, but she was there. So, just a little bit about the flood itself. I mean, what a great town this is that we live in. I would have never believed that there's so many people out there that came together to help people they didn't even know, because they were in need. So I couldn't be more proud to say that I'm from Bethel Park. There's a couple people I wanted to recognize that aren't here, because there's just so many. And I didn't want to really leave anyone out. Unfortunately, I will, so I have a few names, and then I want to recognize a few people that were above and beyond the call of duty. Dave Spinnenweber was everywhere. Jeff Simkew, and Aaron and Tina Card. And one person that really kept us together, helped with everything, is John. He's our emergency management coordinator. So I want to thank you for everything that you've done. Thanks. But I did want to recognize a couple of people that really stepped up. One person I've known for a long time, he actually would help me out down at the store. I called him up, I think it was the day after the flood, and I said, "Chris, can you go down to the corner of Sarah and Farrah to take a look at what these people may need?" Chris is an electrician, plus an all-around handyman. Well, he went down there, he fixed them up, and then he just kept going on and on and on. And last Saturday morning, he called and said, "We need to get this mud out of this person's house on Thunderwood." So I want to bring up Chris Van Dyke. And I also would like to recognize Lisa and Jim Jenkins, in that order. Lisa and Jim, I mean, their trucks were everywhere except Upper St. Clair, where his business is.
We'll bleep that out.
Yeah, he was, both of them were terrific. I mean, they were everyone's houses, moving things. So I just wanted to give each one a citation. One is presented to Chris Van Dyke for your dedication to the Bethel Park community, awarded this 9th day of July, 2018. So thank you very much for all you've done.
Thank you.
for Lisa and Jim Jenkins for your dedication to the Bethel Park community, awarded this 9th day of July 2018. You guys have been great. And who would like to say a few words? Chris, don't be shy.
I'd just like to say it's an honor to work with so many wonderful people of this great community that stepped up and came together. It was actually just a privilege, and we made so many friends doing this. And hope we never have to do it again, though.
I want to thank you, Mayor Allen, for what you have done out in the community. It's so impressive. Also, a few of the council members, Mr. Mallory and Mr. O'Brien, have been at many of the places where Jim and I have been, and you've really been on the ground and helping, and we just really appreciate, and the residents, it meant a lot to them to see you three there as well as us helping them. So, and there's really so many people in the community who have helped probably as much or more than we have, that aren't here today that deserve this recognition also. And I think we should mention the Historical Society really helped a lot with a lot of the coordinating of doing some collections and so forth. So I just want to thank everybody. It's been a really great group effort, and I'm really proud to have spent my life in Bethel Park, and I plan to stay here.
Thank you very much. I did want to mention about Bill Habather back there, that anytime there was a meeting that we had, not a meeting, but we had to show up, he took in all the product, and they distributed all the product from the Schoolhouse Arts. So I want to thank you for that. And there are people that I did forget, but they're all an important part of the community. Susie and Public Works, they just did a great job. And just thank everybody, and that's why it's a special place to live. So thank you.
Thank you. One quick note, and I hope I'm not stealing Sean's thunder, but I will. I do want to thank, for those of you on Facebook and social media, the Citizens of Bethel Park was a tremendous asset, getting information out, helping coordinate. They just did a phenomenal job of just trying to inform people. We as municipal government had limited access or limited people. They kind of jumped in and really helped each other and helped the community. So if you're on Facebook and you're not friends with Citizens of Bethel Park, you should be. Sean, sorry.
Thanks, Tim. I'm Sean Orbaugh, Municipal Manager. I just want a few things tonight. Staff has been extremely busy working on the flooding event. We had over 400 people report damages to their homes in one fashion or another. We've had all kinds of infrastructure issues. We're out fixing roadways. We're out repairing storm sewers and sanitary sewers. Public Works has just been doing a tremendous job cleaning culverts, getting debris out of the area, and it's an amazing effort, and it's still continuing. We're going to streams now, assessing debris and looking at some other things, and it's just been a really trying time for all of us. But staff has just been doing a tremendous job, and really appreciate everything that staff's done. One thing I do want to put out tonight, we do have dumpsters available still at the community center, at Clifton and Milford fire stations. We're going to have those until Monday so that any additional trash from the flooding can be put in there and over the weekend, but those will be removed on Monday. Additionally, please keep track of our website. We are updating that frequently. We're currently working with some other groups, some church-related organizations, to bring volunteer efforts to Bethel Park to help those that might have mold growth, need power washing, their basement, things along those lines. So we're working with the church groups to try to get that effort up and running for this weekend. So please keep tabs on that. Also, we'll have information on our Savvy Citizen app, so please make sure you check that out. And if you haven't downloaded the app yet, I'd recommend doing so. We put important information on there, such as road closures, flooding information, and other items. Lastly, I just want to make mention that Republic recently sent out some information about changes to Friday trash delivery. They inadvertently sent it out to too many people, so they should only send it out to about 25% of the people they sent it out to. They are going to correct that, but some folks' trash is going to move from Friday to Tuesday and the recycling, and they're going to clarify that. But so just keep you can keep an eye on our website. That's going to be clarified on there also, but they're going to send notification out to the residents individually. Any questions?
Yeah.
What can I look up on the internet? I don't have Facebook or any of that stuff. Is there this information at the computer?
So you can look at our website. You can also sign up for the Savvy Citizen app. Even if you have texting on your phone, it can send you texting, or it can send you an email also with that important information. We also do the Swift Reach calls with important information, but a lot of people kind of get annoyed if we have too many of those calls, so that's why the app's nice. You can put information out, and then you can either read it or delete it. So.
Okay.
Sean?
Yes.
Mike O'Brien.
I'd like to say I wish I could have done more. However, the group of people that Jack recognized, along with Mr. Murray and Joseph, they were just phenomenal. They're everywhere. They never stop. And in fact, things that we don't think about after the flooding and after everything's going, they're still finding people that may have not been aware because of their conditions or their age that they were affected. And then we're almost, over 2 weeks out? So if you know some older people that may not get out of their house too much, or, check on them. Check on your neighbors, because they could have been affected. This was so random. It was historic and somewhat biblical, the way the water hit this town. And it didn't really follow any normal flooding procedures like some people here know. It hit people randomly. So, we need everyone to reach out. And these people that he talked about today were amazing, how they've just given up their lives for the people of Bethel Park. And to stand and load some wet boxes in somebody's house with 40 years of memories, and they're looking through pictures, or watching an older man with his baseball card collection he had since a kid, and then, it's gone. And then the very next day, they lost just about everything in their basement, and everything you could think of in their basement. And the next day, that woman is down making a contribution to other people that were hit. That's pretty moving. That really grabs you. So this is a really good place to live. And Mr. Meyer received an award in Philadelphia, in Harrisburg last, for his dedication and his lifelong service. And it really did continue in this flood. And I'd like to thank him personally. So, thank
you. Okay. Thanks, Martha. Just one reminder: if there is anybody that didn't report flood damage to us that was damaged, please call and report to us. 412-831-6800, extension 130. Also, if there's anybody out there that can volunteer or needs assistance, please call, and we're going to try to connect volunteers to people that need assistance.
Yeah, and just to follow up on Mark said about some of our seniors, don't just let them tell you that nothing happened, their house is okay. Take the time to go in and check their basement. As we talked about tonight, people that have never ever had water before had water. They either don't know, don't want to acknowledge. It's a challenge, but take the time to go in and look at their basement, look in their garage, to make sure that they were not impacted. Okay, at this time,
Mr.
we turn.
Meyer,
Mr. Allen.
one more item.
There.
I just wanted to mention on the Swift Reach program that we have, those numbers that are in there go out to 15102. If you live in one of the other zip codes, you have to go online and enter your phone number in there. So when we do a Swift Reach, you'll be included. So we do have Upper St. Clair, we have Castle Shannon, we have 15236 in Baldwin. So you need to contact us to get on that list. And also for especially the younger people that may not have landlines, they could also enter their cell phones. I know one of my daughters doesn't have a landline, but she does have her phone number in there. So it's very important that we can reach you in different aspects and things that we have to get out.
Thank you very much, Mayor. At this time, we turn to the Approval of the minutes. Mr. Hannan.
First on the regular council meeting of June 11th. I move that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of June 11th, 2018.
There's a motion second that we approve the regular council meeting minutes of June 11th, 2018. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Arbaugh, would you please call the roll?
Council Magno.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
Hannan.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Maury.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. At this time, I'd like to turn to the approval of the bills and payrolls. And Mr. Hannan.
I move that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 070918 in the amount of $2,575,487.73.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the bills and payrolls for the municipality per bill list number 070918 in the amount of $2,575,487.73. Any discussion of this item? Mr. Arbaugh, would you please call the roll?
Dixon.
Yes.
Gibbons.
Yes.
Hannan.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Maury.
Yes.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Council Magno.
Yes.
Motion passes 7-0. At this time, can we turn to resident comments for non-agenda items? We had some people sign up. If you'd like to come to the microphone, state your name and address. We have a 3-minute limit. At the end of 2 minutes, we'll ask you to conclude your comments. Catherine Sturman.
My name is Catherine Sturman. I live at 3067 Greenwald Road. Over the years, while traveling in this area, I observed the construction of large viaducts. You have a large sign on Church Road which reads, "Constructed by Commonwealth of Pennsylvania Bethel Park Flood Protection Project, maintained by Borough of Bethel Park." I bought this house in good faith and believing this area was now protected from flooding. This sign is a misrepresentation and false advertising. I have lived here now for 4.5 years and have had several flooding issues coming into my home. The creek is not some little stream in a farmer's field. This is a major life-threatening flood, with water quickly reaching the top of my 8-foot dike, exemplifying what a dangerous creek this can become. I believe the taxpayers have a right to be informed of the engineers department's accountability, see the dated reports from the engineers for the past 4 years, addressing their concerns relevant to future flooding, their recommendations to correct same, and how these known flooding areas were maintained and handled by the Bethel Park Borough, as stated on the sign erected on Church Road. Specifically with my dike installed area, which continues all the way up Greenwald Road, the drainage water coming down into the creek from the area atop the hill on Eastview overloads the flow of the creek. If this situation is beyond the training, the experience, and the capability of your engineers, then it's time to reevaluate who best can handle this serious problem. I strongly recommend you take down the misrepresentation advertising on the Bethel Park Flood Protection Project sign so future buyers are not misled as I have been. My property, along with many others, is now appreciated, and I live now with a destroyed basement, game room, senseless to remodel with a constant fear of flooding, also a bleak possibility of ever selling this house, much less with $1 gain. Councilmen, women, as a concerned taxpayer, I look forward to your addressing this horrible situation as quickly as possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Joanne Zawilla.
Okay, I had about the same problem as she did with the flooding. I don't get flooding into my house, but I live below Monongahela, and above me, I get all the water from Monongahela down into my yard. It's supposed to flow into 2 ditches. That's for all that big hill coming down. When this happened, we got flooding from all the way down, went down my drain, went into the ditch, came from there, went to the people across the street. They got 3 to 5 feet of water. And we blame that this has been going on for 10 years. I've been talking about it. They've done things. It has not worked. and now people got flooded because nothing was done right. We feel there should be more ditches on the road. We only have two storm drains on Cobblewood Drive, and we feel that is not enough because even in the cul-de-sac, there's tons of water that came down because of this flood, and there's no ditches up there. There's no storm drains, and we feel there's not enough water to take care of this. We feel that things should be put underneath the ground, not above the ground, because when people throw all their leaves down, we get all that on top of the drain. And last time when this storm happened, my neighbor was out there piling up 3 bags with, 3 times cleaning up the mess. That still wasn't enough because it flooded over, and it flooded 3 people on our street that lost their whole bottom floor. So we feel more should be done about this. We're not very happy about the situation either, because a lot of people will not be able to sell their houses unless something is done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Carrie Ann?
Good evening. My name's Carrie Ann Stair, and my husband Ryan and I have lived in Bethel Park, actually 8 years to the day we closed on our house at 669 Horning Road. We live there with our 2 daughters, age 5 and age 2, and we have experienced 3 floods since 2013. Our house was built in 1979. We purchased it in 2010 for $180,000, hoping that we would raise our family in a great community like Bethel Park. It wasn't the biggest house or the fanciest house that Bethel Park had to offer, but we liked the bedrooms, we liked the level backyard, and the finished basement, complete with what I would say was really ugly late 70s decor. The house also had a 2-car garage. Since then, we have had 3 stormwater-related floods: July 10th, 2013, June 14th, 2017, and 1 year and 4 days later on June 20th, 2018. The first storm in 2013 was referred to as the 100-year storm. After the 100-year storm, we availed ourselves of a Small Business Administration rehabilitation loan totaling $44,000. We also availed ourselves of the National Flood Insurance Program, flood insurance, as is required when anyone gets a small business rehabilitation loan. We flooded again in 2017, and at that point we learned that anything that is below grade, is a basement, and anything in a basement, contents, furniture, drywall, flooring, anything that makes it a livable space is not in fact covered. What is covered is removal of mud, cleanup, and removal of debris. We rebuilt yet again, this time using $10,000 of our personal savings and adding additional flood mitigation measures. June 20th of this year has been referred to as a 500-year storm, and our house filled with stormwater yet again, and again destroyed nearly half of our living space and also rendering my car a total loss. Our bathroom, family room, all-purpose room are gone. We no longer have any resources, federal or otherwise, to rebuild, and as others have mentioned, to do so would be a poor investment. We still have $150,000 to pay off our house from the mortgage, and on top of that, we now owe a remaining $38,000 to pay off the Small Business Administration loan that we have 2 times lost the benefit of. Combined, this is more than we paid for our house in 2010, and an experienced realtor has given us little hope that we would even be able to recover the costs that we have left remaining on our mortgage. Last month's flood has impacted hundreds of other homes and businesses, and I am certain many of these people will qualify for federal loans pending a disaster declaration. However, the water problem in Bethel Park is beyond what citizens can fix on their own, and it's going to happen again and again. We, the citizens, lack the resources, and we lack the authority to make meaningful changes to the stormwater management problem. The Borough Council has the authority and the responsibility to take meaningful action to implement meaningful measures that will work and protect our homes. I do want to acknowledge Councilman Paul Dixon for coming to meet us face to face and for coming to look at the damage and the source of the damage in person. I have also taken steps to assemble a task force of public officials. These public officials are committed to addressing flood abatement and stormwater management in our borough. I've been in contact with both State Representative Marr and State Senator Reschenthaler, who have agreed to lend their support to such an effort. However, council commitment to this effort, along with that of the borough manager and borough engineer, are critical to the success of the task force. The mission of this group is to meet, to clearly identify the actual problems, to identify the solutions, and then to implement those solutions. I am asking the council to appoint individuals who have a strong desire to protect our community and to make every effort to prevent what has happened to my family from happening to any other family here in Bethel Park. I'll be following up with both Representative Marr and Senator Reschenthaler within the next week. I'd like to begin scheduling, so I ask the council to provide me with the names and contact information for those of you who would also plan to attend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Jason Hill.
I live at 411 Horning Road, right up the street from this lady here. And 5 months ago, I came to the council dealing with flood issues. Not only with these record amounts of rain that we're getting at one time, just one little rain storm threatens my house with the amount of water that's coming off of Horning Road because of the way it slopes in my direction. And I know I live at the bottom of the hills and I can't do anything about water coming off of people's yards or whatever, but what we can manage is the water coming off the streets. There's 2 catch basins on the opposite side of the street, and the water's all coming to my side. I have videos, I have pictures. I keep calling the municipality and they keep telling me, well, we need to come out when it's raining, which we've got a lot of rain from February till now to see how that water comes down the street, down my driveway, down my neighbor's driveway, ponds up in the back corner of my yard, and worked its way into my basement, through my garage, and through my basement door, which I've been there for 2 years. I've been fighting this for 2 years. I have sandbags in front of my garage, can't use my garage. My basement door, sandbags in front of my basement door to help prevent this water from getting in. And this is, anytime they call for rain, my wife and I, we just sit there and wonder, are we going to flood or are we going to flood? We just never know. And I just want that issue to be resolved, to see what I have to do to get rid of where all the rest of the water is coming from to get rid of. I mean, to me, having the sandbags in front of the garage doors, whatever, but that basement door, if my wife needs to get out of there with my 3 little kids, there's no way she's pushing those sandbags out of the way. So it is, you know, if they need to get out, they're not going to get out. It's a major safety concern on my part and my wife's part, for my 3.5-year-old daughter all the way down to my 9-week-old son. This isn't the way we need to be living. We moved to this community because, you know, from the stories we've heard tonight about how wonderful a community it is, and that's why we wanted to come here. School district's great, people are great, and we want to stay. But if we can't get these issues, you know, solved, then we're going to have to, like these people say, move. And the depreciation of our homes, who even knows if we're even going to be able to sell them? Because we as homeowners have to list these problems to other people buying. And I wouldn't want somebody else living in my home knowing that this is what's going on. So all I'm asking for is a little bit of help to try to figure out what we can do. And I'm there to help. I'm willing to help you guys. You guys are willing to help me. I'm pretty easygoing, so.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bruce Virgin.
My name is Bruce Virgin. I live at 5575 Clarine Drive, and I'm back again. We've been dealing with a hillslide and a sewer line that is basically sunk. It's spewing sewage in our backyards. Our hillsides have dropped. This has been a 5-month process. Today, Don Felino showed up, tells us we're replacing 30 feet of a 200-foot long line, and that's it. We are responsible as a homeowner to pay for the laterals to be tied in, which my lateral was tied in before this whole episode started. Now you guys are going to take the taxpayers' money, spot repair a sewer line into the middle of an active hillslide, make me pay for it, and then in 5-6 months, I'm back to where we started today. I want to know what we're supposed to do about that as taxpayers. I mean, I'm not downgrading the people that have problems with the flooding, but we've been dealing with this for almost 6 months over here, and nothing has happened. I'd like to know what we're doing about this. Are we supposed to pay for this? It is none of the options that you guys have presented us with. We had 4 options, and what they're doing tomorrow is none of them. I just want to know what we're doing. They just showed up. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, are there any other residents who would like to speak? You just state your name and address for the record, please.
My name's Mike Coriel. My girlfriend is Kathy Schwab. We live at 6086 Library Road, which is right next to the former Corner Brew building, and it's sectioned right up about 125, 150 yards up from the trolley stop bar. There's one other home on the line that sits at Beagle that's affected by the stormwater. My house is the first house in a section of about 7 or 8 houses before Sandy Creek Apartments. I've been dealing with flooding for the past 30 years that I've been living here. Last year I was flooded 5 to 6 times. This year was worse than Hurricane Ivan. I noticed a sewer discharge because there's a main trunk line and the sewer runs along the stream bank. Opposite side is the trolley line. There was a sewer discharge. I was forced to work in this. My legs are disfigured from working in the water. Your code enforcement guy forced me to work in this water. Your municipal engineer came down to address the sewer line discharge into the stream, denied that there was any flooding ever in this area. There were no complaints of flooding ever, and it was 5 to 6 times. Now this year, there's a Stormwater Management Act 167 from 1978 that goes from the state to the county to the municipalities where you have to designate a flood management person. And you're to control development in the municipality since 1980. And this is all man-made. This isn't a natural act. This is due to Dan Ryan Homes. This is due to Heartland Homes. And this, if it flooded in the last 30 years, it came from your podium to here, over the stream bank. This came 200 feet up to my house, rose up 18 inches, just barely missed coming into my basement. But your sewer line is taking stormwater in, which you're supposed to be in compliance with MS4, where there's no stormwater going into the sanitary lines. And I'm getting backflow, my neighbors are getting backflow, and your municipal guy said, there's no flooding, that's not occurring. To me, that's criminal. And now I face prosecution in the county court because of your solicitor over this from last year. I'm going in 3 weeks. Now, I'm asking you to stand down on that because your code guy is going to take a picture of my backyard where I have somebody's dumpster in my backyard. My backyard is totally destroyed, and I have a tree that washed out of the stream bank, roots and all, moved across my yard and blew out my fence. And this is just unconscionable. You know, it's a true crime. And I tried to explain this to your code guy. He doesn't want to hear it. You're supposed to be working with me. I received a registered letter. I replied with a registered letter. The reply from the municipal guy was a summons to the magistrate. They didn't even work with me. And I'm a disabled person. It takes me a long time to do stuff and to achieve things. So I'm telling you right now, I will see you in federal court. I'm tired of this.
Thank you very much. Are there any other residents who would like to speak? Okay, hearing none, I'll just make, normally we take the public comment section. We all know that was a horrendous event that happened a few weeks ago. We're still in the, I'll say, cleanup phase of finding out what damage has been done, what we need to fix, and we're also going to be looking at other projects and things to do, not only with the storm sewer, but the sanitary. So, you know, it's not like we're doing everything, and we talk a little bit about stormwater ordinances. Back probably 20 years ago, we implemented a stormwater ordinance with any development that it's the developer needs to contain 80% of pre-development flow or 90% of pre-development flow, in essence, to put above ground detention tanks. So anything, the runoff off the properties, it may not be perfect. We're looking at, and we have been looking at some of the stormwater ponds we have, some of the people that put them in, some are privately maintained, some are publicly maintained. So we're currently reviewing them. Again, we did last fall. We believe most, if not all, were operating efficiently. We're going to be making some corrective actions at the one that weren't. But we are looking at a number of other projects. And like I said, we're still in the kind of the overview phase to find out what was out there currently, what was damaged. I would venture a guess to say between roads and everything we've done and we will do just with the flood event itself will cost the taxpayers in excess of $500,000. We did roughly $200,000 worth of roads that were damaged. We've given approval to fix. So it's a long process for us, but we're working with it. I know we talked tonight about the creek beds and about the debris and the bridges and things that potentially were blocked when we had the event. We're going to be much more aggressive in citing people for dumping. It may not impact you, but if you dump something in the stream, it impacts the people down the stream, whether it's getting caught up in a bridge, getting caught up in a culvert, but that's some of the things that we are working on. So if this, yes. Okay. Okay, at this time, can we turn to General Policy and Finance and Mr. Hannan?
Mr. Meyer, there are no agenda items on our general policy and finance.
Thank you, Mr. Hannan. Are there any additional comments? Hearing none, can we turn to Planning and Zoning and Mr. Dixon?
Mr. President, we have no items under Planning and Zoning tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Dixon. Any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to Health, Safety, and Welfare and Mr. O'Brien?
We have one item tonight. On ordinance number 70918, Civil Service Rules Amendment. I move that we approve an ordinance amending certain sections of the Police Civil Service Rules and Regulations regarding the oral examination of candidates.
Second.
There's a motion and a second that we approve the ordinance amending certain sections of the Police Civil Service Rules and Regulations regarding the oral examination of candidates. Any discussion of this item?
Mr. Chairman.
Mr. O'Brien.
This is a very unique motion. I looked at it from both sides, and I understand the arguments from either side, but I also understand the timeliness that this needs to be accomplished because of the way we do our testing now. So I don't disagree with the way we used to do it, but I'm okay, I think, with the way we're going to proceed. And once this proceeds, we reevaluate it in a year and see if it works out, and I'd be okay to open it up and think about it again. So that's all, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Bryan. Any additional comments? Hearing none, Mr. Arbaugh, would you please call the roll?
Gibbons.
Yes.
Hannan.
Yes.
Harrison.
Yes.
Maury.
No.
O'Brien.
Yes.
Council Magno.
Yes.
Dixon.
Yes.
Motion passes 6-1. Mr. O'Brien.
There are no other items under health, safety, and welfare.
Thank you, Mr. Bryan. Any additional items? Hearing none, can we turn to Public Works and Maintenance, Ms. Gibbons?
No agenda items.
Thank you, Ms. Gibbons. Any additional items? Hearing none,
Move
is
we
there a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Good night, everyone.